Hello everyone and welcome back to Rising Angels Reborn. It's Azumarcy here. Now we're going to continue with where we left off. We had just met Commander Rasuna, Sol, Kylie, Alphonse, and our character Natalie Pusille. I think that's her name. So let's continue. Ma'am, Major Natalie Pusille reporting in. I'm the Special Investigations and Tactics Officer assigned to the KSS Nimros. Welcome to my ship, Major. She is one of the best tactical officers in the force, ma'am. I've read the training report. Top of your class, correct? Yes, ma'am. How many failed out in your class? Huh? Around 40%. The average is 20. Why do you think that happened? Lack of dedication. You were not cut out for the service. And what did you do to help them pass? Everything you could, am I right? You fight and die as a team on this ship, Major. Earn my trust. Yes, Commander. 10:05, we will be holding an all-call for the ship. You will brief our mission to the entire crew. Until that time, you are off duty. Major Hackett will be your guide. Thank you. You have her quarters decided, Major Hackett? Yes, I was going to put her in the empty room. Incorrect. She will be rooming with Captain Moonfollow. And what will we be doing with the empty room? Our ship doctor says he is tired of sleeping in the med ward and laid claim to it. That's slimy. Yes, ma'am. That's all. Dismissed. Let's get out of here quickly before she thinks of something else. Wait, I have questions to ask. Alright. Certainly. What are you curious about? What's the comm link for the ship? So, the first one, she wants to ask about the virtual consoles again because she already beat all of the role-playing games that are in her console. So, we're not going to ask about that. Please tell me a little more about the ship. I've read up on the specs of the ship, but the profile suggests that this is a version might be different. I noticed that your ship's profile was different than the standard Harper-class command and control ship. You got a very sharp eye. Yes, this ship was modified in depot. Really? Not for the better. Oh? It all depends. Our crew complement has been reduced due to the removal of the self-defense weaponry. Wait, we have no defensive lasers or cannons? Correct. So we have no weapons, officer or loader. Also, our impulse drive is a KDS E591 instead of the standard E598. As much as I want to bluff understanding that one, flying won't help me here. And what impact does that have on us, ma'am? A larger engineering bay and a larger fuel consumption, so our med bay is also removed. But the doctor works out of the secondary research bay instead. Try not to get sick. He's a lecherous demon who has no ethics or Hippocratic oath. He's a non-human, isn't he? An Afric. That doesn't make him any less vile of a monster. I'll keep that in mind. Please do. It's only a matter of time before I catch him and have him court-martialed. So, again, she's asking about gaming, so we're not going to do that. If we don't have any defensive weaponry, do we have any security forces? No defensive weapons to protect us from pirates. What do we have about security when I'm at a ground site? We have Zuri. What is a Zuri? Is it some sort of defensive robot? I really, really wish it was. We'd be able to turn it off then. Lieutenant Zuri is our security officer and in charge of the defensive systems on the ship, which means she doesn't have a lot to do and seems to find the time in her day just to wander around and bother everyone. She wants to help out others. That doesn't sound like a bad thing, Sol. It wouldn't be if she had a better attitude. What's wrong? Is she grumpy? I thought someone like that would work well with you. No, she's quirky. There have been some days where I just wanted to tear the happy right out of her soul. Have I ever said that you remind me of a really grumpy cat? Not in years. And you haven't changed a bit. But you may be a bit over-enthusiastic at times. Lieutenant Zuri is competent at her job and will provide you adequate security on away missions. Just don't expect her to shut up when she gets on her warrior rant. It would be nice to have someone cheerful to hang out with now and then to compensate for Mr. Gloom and Doom. I'm just realistic and don't lie and sugarcoat things for you. Again, she's asking about the gaming, so that's still not where we're going to ask. Is there anything else special about the ship I should know about? Is there anything else I should know about the ship before we set off? Besides the lack of defensive weaponry and substandard parts? While that may be true, most of the crew is relatively experienced in its operations. Despite their laziness and lack of morale, the commander is correct in that stating the crew is decent at their jobs. Don't expect too much, but I do ensure the basics are enforced. Even though he is rough and derogatory, Sol has never been one to shy away from acknowledging talent. I just wish he'd use it no matter what the outside looks like. Weaponry shouldn't be an issue. I don't intend to send us into any combat zones. If pirates attack, fleeing in terror, while not heroic, is a perfectly logical course of action. Thanks for the briefing. The information will come in handy to maximize the Nimros's utilization. I'm glad to hear it. I hate to cut the question and answer session short. We need to continue the tour. You don't want to start your first day tomorrow with no sleep, right? I can feel the first traces of exhaustion beginning to set in. It's the first time I've had anything do remotely like work in years. It feels wonderful, tiring though. Maybe. Having me mumble through the briefing tomorrow might make it a little more interesting. No doubt. By your leave, ma'am. Rest well, Major Purcell. We expect much from you. Dismissed. Let's go drop off your medical records with the perv and grab a bite to eat. That sounds delightful. I'm famished. If Kylie finished stocking everything, we might be able to make a decent meal from the synthesizer. No cook? No cook. We have some limited cooking facilities, but alas, no cook. I don't think I'd want to eat any more dog food anyway. Lupide food. Same thing. Trust me, if we can't cook. You can try eating it, but you'd rather have the synth stuff. Because she's a Lupide or because she can't cook. And to be both, I'm not saying all food that mutants cook is bad. Lupide stuff is just bland and mushy. Try it if you want, you'll see. I can make a decent meal though. I'll make you something nice sometime. I'll have to compare them. And we'll have to have a contest to prove it. Not tonight. You promise? I promise. Let's get going. Clang of metal instead of the mush of dirt is welcoming. Never again will I have to check my hair for spiders after a radar array check. Everything is so clean, so shiny. I did it. I really am back to the real Space Force again. I'm free to save the universe once more. Happy? Does it show? A little bit. I can't help it. I'm excited, Sol. My first real pulse, my first real mission. Finally off that mud ball. What is our first mission? I haven't checked. My orders were just to report in here, then receive my follow-on orders over the secured network. It sounds like they're trying to make it difficult for your first briefing. You're telling me. I have faith in you. Show them you know how to give a proper intelligence briefing. Thanks, Sol. I know I can't see the orders, but let me know if there's anything I can do to help. I'm glad he reminded me before I asked for his help. SITO orders are restricted to SITO eyes only. My first briefing can only be written by me. That is the unfortunate truth about my profession. No matter how much I wish I could depend on Sol, on my crew, I am not part of it. I'm just an attached member. The thought of it is sobering, feeding the joy out of my mood. It's lonely at the top. Does my lab have a secure line? I'd rather not have to deal with couriers. Only the finest for you. It doesn't seem like the ship has a lot of the finer things. It doesn't. You'll learn to make do with the things you are given. I'm sure I'll find a way to adapt quickly. Of course. This ship is a stepping stone. I must keep telling myself that. We stop in front of a door in the aft section of the ship. Sol doesn't seem too pleased to be here, so I assume we have found the Ox lab. Sol knocks against the door 3 times without a single response. Finally, he resorts to loud bangs before we get a response. Whatever it is, you know the hours. Doc is not in. The ship doctor is available at all hours of the day. But according to your beloved regulations, come back tomorrow. We may make sure you book an appointment first. I'm sorry, Natalie, but I'm going to have to resort to some desperate measures here. Why are you apologizing? What are you planning? Wouldn't bother you calling up, Colonel. Our new SITO just arrived and she really needs to turn in her medical records to you. She was very insistent to meet you with you right now. Give me a moment. I may be able to break regulations just this once. Alright, so we're going to end this right here, and we'll pick this up in another episode. So we're about to meet Dr. Colonel Stan. I wonder why. So, have a wonderful day. I will post the next video soon, and I will see you then. Bye!